BC. Chad here with the final update. I want to thank everyone that watched my first two videos and everyone that subscribed. Shout out to John Coltrane 68, Chris. Man, I would just love to pick your brain for a few hours, your endless knowledge of music. It was really cool that you subscribed. Thank you. And shout out to Mike, Bostonian Reggie. Mike, I love your videos. I made a set of comments earlier this week that I just wish you made more videos. I always walk away with at least 3 or 4 things to purchase. Again, been turned on to so many great bands by you, so thank you for the kind words. Picked up a lot of stuff this last week. A lot of prog, free jazz, and let's see, some krautrock. So 3 of my favorite genres. Just get right to it. Drinking some Newcastle Werewolf tonight. Cheers. First thing, King Crimson's Lizard. This is a pretty well beaten copy here, but it actually plays fantastic. I found this for 50 cents at a used record store, actually a used bookstore that sells records. The vinyl is in great shape. King Crimson's 3rd LP, by far their most heavily jazz influenced. This is fantastic. Again, you know, probably pales in comparison to In the Court of the Crimson King for me, but great prog album. Stoked to find that for 50 cents. Continuing on the prog, I would consider this prog. Well, also psychedelic. We have some psychedelic stuff to show too. I don't know, Frank Zappa. He's sort of unclassifiable, I guess. He's in a genre all his own. This is on my list forever. Frank Zappa's Hot Rats. One of my favorite Zappa albums by far. And for some reason, I really kind of had a hard time finding it. I had 4 or 5 things on Zappa, 4 or 5 Zappas on vinyl, but always wanted to get this. Found this for $8, in great shape. It's an original. Hot Rats, again, just great songs. What a unique album, like all his work. Getting into some free jazz. Shout out to Roger Coleman. I know he in Nashville. Roger, I'm in Knoxville, so we're just a few hours away from each other. Roger showed all these great Sunrise reissues, and my record store got a few in, so I picked them up. Sunrise and his orchestra. This is Jazz in Silhouette. This Sunrise is still sticking with, you know, mainly conventional style jazz. He is not going, you know, full-blown free jazz at this point. There's you know, sketches of that, you can sort of see it coming, but a masterpiece, wonderful playing. Really stoked to get this. Also got another Sun Ra, the Nebuans of Plutonia. To me, this is much more a step toward, you know, free jazz than Jazz in Silhouette. This is so good, so good. The beats on this thing, it's incredible. You know, Sun Ra gets a riff going, you know, a beat, and they just wail over it. It's fantastic. I'm sure this has been sampled a lot in hip hop. I mean, the beats are just insane. And Sun Ra, you know, Miles Davis, John Coltrane, undeniable geniuses, but for me, Sun Ra is right in that category with Miles Davis, with John Coltrane. Sun Ra wears the genius cap for me. Fantastic. The Nebuans of Plutonia. Playing in the background, Townes Van Zandt, live at the Old Quarter, Texas. The late, great Townes Van Zandt. Classic folk album. It's a reissue on 180 gram. Some psychedelia. Jimi Hendrix, Access Bold as Love. Of course, Hendrix' classic second album. Really psychedelic. Of course, Jimi Hendrix. Need we comment on the great Jimi Hendrix? I was really excited to get this. It's my first piece of Hendrix on vinyl. I have all of his albums on CD, but First one on vinyl. I still have to pick up Electric Ladyland or Are You Experienced. Found this right here for 50 cents. I've actually never seen this before, didn't know anything about it. It's a compilation called First Edition. It's got, and you know, when I was flipping through this, at the same place I got the King Crimson album, I didn't know anything about it, and looking at the bands on King Crimson, Brian Eno's on there, Killing Joke. So I'm immediately, when I saw, you know, King Crimson and Eno, I was getting it no matter what. The vinyl is in pristine condition. This came out on the Editions label in 1982. Or maybe this is the Edge label. I'm unfamiliar with it. Got some, you know, late 70s Eno, late 70s or early 70s King Crimson Cat Food. The Killing Joke song is fantastic. But this was really, really good. There was some songs, you know, Adam and the Ants, I didn't really dig that one. There was a few, but overall, this was well worth 50 cents. Great, great compilation. A few more of the rest got. We'll do this. This is a 2013 LP. I've not seen this shown anywhere in the VC. This album has gotten, you know, quite a bit of attention. I think it get a really, you know, best new music from Pitchfork, but I do think a lot of people in the VC would dig this. This is Haxan Cloack, Excavation. This is, you know, electronic music album, heavy beats, but it reminds me of, I've heard it described this way, as you know, a horror film soundtrack. Really strange, atmospheric synths, heavy warm synths, percussion. The beats are incredible. It's all instrumental, and I guess it sort of does have that hipster edge to it. But I mean, to me, this is just as strange as, you know, a Tangerine Dream soundtrack, which I'm going to show one of those next. But I really do think people in the VC would dig the Haxan Cloack. Check it out. It's great. Will definitely probably end up on my best of list. The rest is Krautrock. Speaking of Tangerine Dream and soundtracks, I've seen this a lot in the VC. The soundtrack to the William Friedkin film Sorcerer by Tangerine Dream. Classic seminal soundtrack. And Krautrock, I mean, Tangerine Dream, pivotal to the movement. I'm probably going to be doing a Krautrock video soon. I have a few more things on my list to pick up before, you know, I feel comfortable doing a video. But this is just great. I really enjoyed this. Listened to it a few times now. Tangerine Dream. Found this for $6. And picked up another Tangerine Dream. Cyclone. Again, seen this a lot in the VC. Did not dig this as much as the Sorcerer soundtrack. Just a little bit less memorable, but still, you know, better than 90% of the stuff out there. Lastly, on the Krautrock train, the great Amon with Hijack. Definitely not my favorite Amon album. Much more partial to Yeti. Things like this. This is late 70s, or excuse me, 1974. It was okay. I want to buy, you know, anything Amon at this point just to fill in the collection, but so I saw it there for like, I believe it's $7 or $8, so picked it up. Definitely not a high point for me for them, but still, like the Tangerine Dream, better than 90% of the stuff you're gonna hear. And lastly, got two 45s for my funk collection. James Brown, Ain't It Funky Now, parts 1 and 2, 1969, classic James Brown. Sort of a strange song to be a single, very sparse lyrics, but the beat is insane. Another James Brown, classic. Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud, parts 1 and 2. Was really glad to see these two. Got them both for $2 a piece. Play great. I'm not a huge 45 collector, but unless it's, you know, funk, I do collect, you know, any James Brown I see on 45 I'm going to pick up. Anyway, hope you dug this. Again, thank you to everyone who's watching the videos. I look forward to seeing more of yours, and leave me some comments. Thank you so much. Cheers.